Hi and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel we discuss all aspects of the Ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist you in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. So we are going to be doing the daily reading for Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. And today is a day that is ruled by the third eye and guided by birth. It's also the equinox today, so happy equinox to everyone. We are making that official shift from summer into fall. In the Northeast here, it feels a little bit more like winter. As you can see, it's a little chilly back here in my office right now, so I've got my gloves and my hat and everything on, staying nice and toasty. But we're flowing with the tides, right? We're flowing with Mother Earth as she goes through cycles and phases, and we go through those cycles and phases along with her. So it is a little bit of a slowing down period. The fall is also traditionally, right, the time of harvest. And so we are in that harvest time, and we can see that when we feel all of this abundance energy coming in, is all the seeds that we planted in the spring coming to fruition. So that's really beautiful and really exciting energy. And today's there's magic in the air every time during the equinoxes and the solstices. And this magic kind of opened up, right, with the portal yesterday. I apologize there wasn't a video yesterday, but we did have that portal, and I did talk about how I was feeling it really the day before. And so we're in that energy right now as we move into this next phase, as we prepare for this next season, and just really enjoying the harvest, enjoying the fruits of our labors, enjoying our creations, and then getting ready to think about what it is that we want to create next, right? And so the frequency of the day is the red galactic earth frequency. And so there is actually an affirmation that goes along with this. And so I'm going to start reading you the affirmations as well when we do these videos. So the affirmation for red galactic earth is, I harmonize in order to evolve, modeling synchronicity. I seal the matrix of navigation with the galactic tone of integrity. And so that's what this energy is about today. The red earth energy is about evolution, navigation, and synchronicity. And so we are always looking to evolve, right? We're looking to evolve as individuals and as a collective. And as we all individually evolve, we evolve collectively, and vice versa, right? Because we are one. So it's that energy of thinking of ourselves as well as also thinking of the greater whole. And the galactic tone is very much about that, because it's about seeing and knowing our place in the world and modeling our ideals with integrity, right? And living those ideals, but also about being in harmony with the rest of the collective and knowing how to bend, right? Knowing how to be mutable, knowing, like, sometimes harmonization takes a little bit of compromise. You know, it takes some flexibility, right? But we remain flexible while at the same time remaining true to our ideals and really just being the force that shows that, right? We live our ideals, we model them so that other people can see that. And in every situation that we encounter, we approach that situation from that lens of our personal truth, and living that and modeling that in a way that is just and in a way that is in harmony with the rest of the living world. And so a way for us to evolve with this red earth energy today is to pay attention to those synchronicities, right? Those synchronicities are so important. That's how we know when we are in that flow. That is the guide to our evolution. If we pay attention to those synchronicities and we allow those to guide us, we will naturally continue to evolve. And that will help us to navigate this life and this experience that we're having here on Earth. And one way that we can really get in touch with those synchronicities is by synchronizing ourselves with the Earth and her natural rhythms, which is very appropriate on an equinox day. So we're going to get right into the cards. And I am being drawn to the Weaver's Tarot. So we're going to see what the Weaver's Tarot has to say about the energies for today. What are we experiencing today? What guidance do we have? What guidance do we have for today? All right, interesting. So we have the Ten of Swords. We have the Ruler of Cups, which I believe is the King of Cups. And then we also have the Nine of Cups. So this is really interesting. So I feel as though this is, I mean, we've talked about with the 9/9 portal and this whole month of September, and how we've been closing out these major cycles, right? This is a time of endings, right? We close out the cycles, and then we also then bring in our abundance as we're able to close in these cycles. And so this is what I'm seeing in the cards right now, which is really beautiful. It's like this 10 of Swords is that painful cycle that we're finally ending, right? That we're finally closing out. Whatever that cycle was for a lot of us, it was just these painful situations, the mental anguish inflicted by whatever outside mirror, right? Whatever outside events were reflecting to us, whatever it was that internally we were needing to work on. And so a lot of us, we've had major closeouts when it comes to relationships. Some of us have had career closeouts. It's just all of these, a lot of us, it's been our belief systems and our patterning, right? That we've been sort of putting an end to those cycles. We've been putting an end to ancestral cycles. Like so many cycles. And for a lot of us, there were a lot of painful circumstances. It's that energy of that heart chakra being broken open, right? And how we talked about that, like that's how the light gets in. And so a lot of us have been in that state, and there was a lot of that energy going on, the reading the day before yesterday, of just that heartache and that loss and just overcoming all of those feelings, or really not overcoming them. I say that you can see my own stuff coming out when I say stuff like that, right? Like feelings are something that are meant to be overcome, allowing ourselves to experience those feelings so that we can heal them, right? This is a lesson that I'm learning, and so you'll see that reflected if you pay attention sometimes in the way I talk. So I can definitely relate to that. But it's like coming out of that anguished energy, whatever that energy was about for each of us, whatever those cycles were about that we were closing out, and then coming into this state of like the King of Cups energy is masculine energy, right? But it's that energy of someone who is able to be loving, to be emotional. It's somebody that has that open heart center, right? And that can live from that place of open-heartedness. Somebody who's very giving and nurturing, right? And so this is the energy that we have been coming into, is learning how to do that, right? Learning how to do that for ourselves, and then learning how to embrace that in others and attract that outer experience because we're learning it internally. And then we have the Nine of Cups, which is like wish fulfillment. And so, yeah, this is really beautiful energy, is to have that. It's like the fulfillment of those of us who were wishing for emotional stability, emotional support, that emotional healing. I'm just feeling that energy coming in really strongly, and like that is happening for us. Like this is our abundance coming in. As we move out of this Ten of Swords energy, we embrace our own King of Cups energy, right? That energy of that beautiful heart chakra, really allowing that, right? Allowing that light to enter in and to fill us up. Then we have all of this abundance, all of our wishes manifesting and coming through for us. It's like finding that balance, finding that emotional balance. And as we were able to quiet some of that chaos inside of our minds, whether this was however we accomplished this, right? Whether it was finally speaking our truth and sharing the things that we needed to share, whether it was writing it down, finding a creative outlet, like however it was that we were able to do this brings us into this place of serenity where we are more in a state of mastery of our emotions, right? Able to express them and to utilize them constructively. And then that's bringing in the abundance for us. And let's see what fell out here. We have the Lovers and we have the Fool. And so, yeah, for some of us, there's romance coming in too. Some of this King of Cups for some of us may be an individual that has been attracted into our lives as we end this painful cycle, especially if this painful cycle was around relationships, right? Ending that, and then somebody coming in who has these qualities or is able to embody these qualities that we were just talking about and is the wish fulfillment of that. And we have this new start. The Fool is a brand new beginning, right? And so with the Lovers here, this is like a brand new beginning in love for a lot of us, right? Maybe a decision that we were able to make around love, around how we handle relationships, that has now allowed for this fresh start. And then we have the Magician on the bottom of the deck, which is amazing. So it's really manifesting that and bringing that in. So I love that energy for us. that for some of us is part of the harvest that's coming in. And I mean, we'll never turn that down, right? That's absolutely beautiful. Maybe we would have before we healed that heart center, but once we get into that place of healing where we are comfortable with our emotions, we're comfortable giving and receiving love, like we'll definitely welcome that in, right? And then we have the Seeker of Cups, which would be like the Page of Cups. So this is like an apology or like a little offer or a message of love coming in. A message of love coming in. And then under that was the Eight of Cups. So as soon as we walk away from what's no longer emotionally fulfilling, or voice our emotions, communicate our emotions, whatever it is, however it is that this comes about, we have this beautiful message coming through. So yeah, I love that. We're going to grab a couple Moonology cards as well. All right, September 22nd. Let's get some equinox messages here. Some messages for today's energy. What is going on with people today? All right. And then we have Prosperity Lies Ahead, which is the New Moon in Taurus card, and a Fiery Climax Approaches. Interesting. So we definitely have, this is that abundance coming in, right? This is that abundance, but there may be there's some intensity in the air. This is the full moon in Aries card. And so this is Aries, is that we are in the Mars transiting Aries energy right now. Mars is retrograde. So it maybe is a little bit dialed back, right? It's a little bit of that slow down energy, but it's still like us being able to utilize that, and sort of like the upgrades that we've had as far as our empowerment and all of that when Mars began transiting Aries, right? Is like we're being able to utilize that. We've been finding ways to utilize our confidence, right? Moving forward, and to really become more open to the possibility of our dreams becoming a reality. And there is a lot of prosperity. This is a fortuitous situation. There's a fortuitous situation coming. And this prosperity for some people may not just be finances. This may be abundance comes in all forms, right? So whatever way your abundance is coming in, it may come in with a bang. Like this is a fiery climax. So something exciting, some really intense energy. I want to look and see, I'm being drawn to look and see what else the full moon in Aries card says here, to see if there's an additional message in here. Right. Let's see. So this is just about also letting us know, and this is also what we've been working on through this Mars and Aries transit, you know, this energy of how we assert ourselves, right? And utilizing that in a constructive way, and not in that reckless sort of overbearing energy, like really kind of dialing ourselves back as far as not being too in your face in our approach to things. And so in order to really access this abundance and this prosperity, it may call for a level-headed approach to situations, is what I'm feeling there. It may call for that more level-headed. Like we want to be more in the Taurus energy, when Taurus, like not the Taurus that's been suppressing all of its emotions and is reaching that boiling point, right? Because Taurus is very calm until we get to that tipping point, and then Taurus energy flips like that. And so we don't want to flip like that and be in this Mars and Aries, like overly aggressive energy. We want to know how to temper that. And so that ties in with the galactic energies of the day, of being in harmony with others, right? In that synchronization, in that flow. Like we want to make sure that we stay in that energy. But I'm just feeling like there are going to be some intense situations coming up, some intense situations with some intense feelings. And so we're going to want to be able to utilize that type of energy, but like they will work out ultimately in our favor, even if they are difficult to navigate. Somehow there is abundance and there is prosperity, on the other side of this situation, but it may come to a head in an explosive way. But we also have the new moon in Capricorn. Your hard work is paying off. So, and this is once again a card, Capricorn is about stability, right? It's about that stable, finessed approach. And so that's really being like driven home right now. I mean, I'm seeing here we have three stags, we have a bull, we have the ram, and we have the goat, right? And so the horns, it's like, watch how you're using your horns. Don't use your horns to force your way through situations. Just really tapping into that, like we talked about. I keep bringing it back to the synchronicity and the flow. Tapping back into that and looking at the collective picture, looking at and really taking everyone's needs in a situation into account as we are moving through these energies. Yeah, I feel like someone's been working really hard at something, and there's a lot of intense energy involved. Like, I'm feeling as though for somebody, it's like the energy is getting really fiery and intense because you have been calm and been putting a lot of work and dedication into something, and maybe you've been feeling like it hasn't been paying off, and you've been feeling as though people have been thwarting your progress possibly, and you're not too happy about that. Like, people have been standing in the way of your abundance, and you're not impressed with that situation. And so this is just like a reminder to stay the course, to stay strong, to live in that galactic tone, that frequency of living and modeling your ideals, right? Being the bigger person in situations. Like this situation, like it's going to be fiery. There may be a confrontation. I think that's part of what this area, like there may be a confrontation as far as this is concerned. So you want to keep a level head in that situation so that you are going to come out on top. That work is paying off, but you don't want to end up with your foot in your mouth. You don't want to end up having to clean up a situation that would have been resolved naturally if you had just kind of kept your wits about you, kept your head down in a way, kept your horns sort of tucked away, because you're beginning to think that you might need them in order to push through the situation, but you don't. You actually don't. And then, yeah, look at the bigger picture. There's so much more unfolding here, and there are so many lessons, and part of that lesson is about patience, it's about moderation, it's about the ways that we act and interact with others, and how to remain in our integrity when we feel as though other people are not remaining in theirs. So it's just looking at the larger picture, the larger scheme of things, and just being like, is this really worth fighting about right now? Do I need to say a certain thing, or can I continue to do what I'm doing knowing that that's paying off? Like, and if I do need to stand up for myself, how can I do that in a way that maintains my integrity, right? And that maintains my ideals. And how can I showcase how to live that even if other people in my reality are not doing the same? Yeah. So that's, and then on the bottom we always get you and your loved ones are safe. So yeah, that's the energy. That's the energy that I'm feeling. We have 2 new moon cards and 2 full moon cards. And so it's like the beginnings, right? And the culmination. So it's like a culmination. There is something that you've been working on that is about to come to fruition. And then there's going to be another cycle of creation after that. So it's like you're bringing in a new level of abundance and prosperity as a result of the work that you've put in. But don't be discouraged and don't get sidetracked by anyone else's negativity or by your own negativity. And so, yeah, that's the message that I'm getting from that. And we're going to pull a couple of angel cards to close here. What does the Angel Power Tarot have to say? What messages do we have from the archangels? Guidance for September 22nd. Okay, we have the 8 of Raphael. There is something better waiting for you. Do what you know is right for you. A spiritual quest. And so this is that 8 of Cups energy, right, that we saw in the other deck as well, which is like moving away from what's not emotionally fulfilling you. And we saw that what's coming in is going to be so fulfilling. So it's just like closing out that old cycle like we talked about. And then, as I said, so fulfilling, I look down and we have the Sun. And the Sun is the happiest card in the deck, right? And in this card it says, life is wonderful. Thrive through the power of positive thinking and inspiring success. So yes, there is so much goodness as soon as we do learn to walk away from what is not fulfilling ourselves. To really put ourselves first is what I'm feeling from this card too, is learning how to put ourselves first. That is part of the spiritual quest. That is part of the lesson that a lot of us are learning right now, is how to do that. How to know that our emotions, our feelings are valid, our needs are valid, and those are important, right? Like, it's important to take in the entirety of the collective, like we talk about, because we are one collective energy. But if we're not meeting our own needs first, we can't meet any of those other needs. And so we have to allow ourselves to matter. And when we allow ourselves to matter, we then come into this energy of thriving, right? Which is absolutely beautiful. And positive thinking, right? Perspective, really like utilizing that shift in perspective. And like, it's drawing my mind to see the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture energy. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Gabriel. A challenge you can resolve. Withdraw from the drama of others. Have patience with yourself and those around you. And so that's perfect too, because that's tying in that last reading that we did for whoever that was for, that may be going through that situation today. Yes, have patience with yourself and those around you. That's going to be key today. I love you all guys. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you. There is a link down below if you would like to donate to my channel. There is also information for my services. I offer personal readings. I offer energy healings, a whole variety of different things. So check that out if you would like some assistance. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff is very much appreciated, and it definitely helps the channel, helps these messages get out to more people so that they can benefit from them, although I always trust that everyone that's meant to find these videos will. And drop a comment, let me know how today's going for you, how this resonated. I love you all. I appreciate you all so much. I say it over and over again because it is so very, very true, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Happy equinox.